Hello again and welcome to another edition of Shed Talk. As promised in the last video, in this one I will cover the database that I use, the electronic database that I use to record all of the budgerigars and the breeding pairs. So that will form the majority of this video. We will also at the end have a look at some of the new pairings and some of the young birds. I've had a couple of people mention the sound quality of the videos and the disturbance that the birds give in the background of the video. Sometimes you can't actually hear me speaking. Unfortunately, the camera that I've got won't let me use an external microphone, so I'm trying a different method where I'm recording the sounds separate from the main video and then syncing the two. So in some parts of the video you will get that. I'm also, when I'm doing the work on the database, I'm recording that away from the shed as well, so you will get some variation in the sound, I expect. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you prefer me trying to dub over the top of the recording, or whether you prefer it with the natural noise of the birds in the background. There will always be some noise of the birds in the background, no matter how I record it. So there we are. But as always, if you do enjoy the videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell if you want any notifications. And please do hit the like, and as always, do comment. So as promised then, let's have a look at the online database that I use. So this is the online database that I use. It's called Zoo Easy. Like I say, this is the online version that you pay an annual subscription for. The other version there is a standalone version that you just download, and that's a one-off payment. The reason I prefer the online version, well, there are a number of reasons. The main ones are that first of all, it means that the data is saved on a server and therefore is much safer than if it was stored on a local hard drive, which we all know hard drives can go wrong, and if you haven't backed up continuously, then the chances are you're going to lose some or all of the data. The second reason is that it means I can access the data from any of my devices. So at the moment I'm accessing this from my main PC. I can also access it from my laptop, so when I'm down in the shed I can live update, and I can also access it from my phone, so I can access the data from wherever I am, and if I update one on, say, the PC, I can also then use, the information is then also available to me on the laptop, so it updates all of the information, whereas otherwise I'd have to be swapping hard drives or dongles or the such like. So this is the opening screen. You can set this up how you want it in terms of the various fields across the top. I've got this so that it only shows birds that are currently alive in my shed. That doesn't mean that the birds that are dead, the information on them is lost. It's just that it's not shown on the initial screen, and you will see as we go through this little demonstration that the other data is still there. Down the left hand side is access to various other bits of information. I'll go through a couple of those in a bit. The main information is here. On this, where it says ring number, that stands to reason, that's the ring number of the bird. Colour is a brief description of the colour, and then we've got the father's ring number, mother's ring number, date the chick hatched, and then over here is the sex of the chick if I've marked that, or the sex of the bird if I've marked that in there. Where you can see that it turns to a hand like that there, like a pointy finger, that means that it's clickable. So if I click on there, let's say I click on this one here, you can see it takes me through to a different screen, which is the card for that particular bird. So like I said, these are clickable links. So we'll just have a quick look at the information that's displayed on an individual bird's card. Here we go. So at the top is the ring number. Underneath that is the gender of the bird, so hen or cock or unknown. Here's the colour. You can enter the colours free, so you can just add a new one. Here, these titles, I use these to represent the various, I suppose, lines almost within my shed. The born date gives you the date that the chick hatched, and then you've got a rough idea of the age. So this particular hen would be 1 year and 1 month old. Once again, we've got the father and mother's ring numbers here, and then we can also have various other bits of information. You can add pictures to it, as you can see. So that's the main card. Once again, you can link through. So if I wanted to have a look at the father, if I click on this card here, it will take me through to the father's card, open it in a separate screen. So there you go. So there's the cockbird. So that's the main card. And then the other bit that we've got is we've got here the blood relations. So if I click on that, that can tell me, so clearly this bird hasn't had any offspring, but I can look at the ancestors of this bird, and that will then tell me the parents, the grandparents if they're known, and any great-grandparents if they're known, and so on. And then any other relations, which would include brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, and cousins and that side of things, so fairly self-explanatory. So what I can do though is pull off a quick pedigree of this bird. So if I click on the pedigree bit up here, you'll see that it now pulls out a separate card again, a separate window. If I just expand that basically goes back and shows me the parents of these birds. So any that have got these 3 dots in means that there's some common ancestry there, and you can see that there was some common ancestry in the background of these birds. So that's us looking at the individual cards and the individual of an individual bird. What I'll look at now is just show you how you set up a breeding pair. But before I do that, if you need to add a bird, you can add a bird. So if I got a bird in that I hadn't bred myself, I would merely go to the list, and then I would then click on add at the top there. That then gives me a blank sheet. So and I could add a bird from there. I didn't save that, but so you can add a bird. If you bought an outcross, you can add that bird in. It can also be added. A bird will be added from the breeding pairs list, and I'll just show you that now. So here's the breeding pair tab. If I click on that, it brings them up. What I now want to do is to select the breeding pair, but before I do that, there's an area up here that allows you to trial a breeding pair just to see how close they are. So I'm just going to click there and we'll do a quick trial, and once again we're opened up this screen here. If we click on these 3 dots here, that will give us a list of the cockbirds that we've got available to us. The cockbird that I'm looking at trying is the cobalt, but it's a 20 cobalt. This one here. That bird is the son of the one that died, so the one that in the last video you may remember. I'm going to put it to the same head that the cobalt, that the bit that died, so the hen that had 1 round and with all the eggs fertilised. So I was going to put it with that one, and that one is, if I move towards the end, actually doesn't have a number. It's this one here. Unfortunately it lost its the ring, so which is why it's got no number on it. So I can now do a calculate percentage relationship, and that will give us a percentage here. 50%, that's very, very close. I think that's probably too close, but let's have a look at the trial pedigree. And we can see from the trial pedigree that it's got the same mother, so it's a son to mother, which I would do if this hen was a good hen, but she's not the greatest of hens, so I'm probably going to have a look for another hen for this particular cockbird. But it's coming into condition in the hen flight, so I thought I would try it, and it's a cinnamon grey. I think it's the 2006 here. Let's now do the same thing again, calculate percentage. That's nice and low, 6.25, and I think most of that is inbreeding in the hen, so let's have a look. Yeah, we can see the hen is quite closely related, but not related at all in terms of the cockbird, so that should be quite a nice pairing. So that's the pairing I'm going to look at for this cockbird. So if I click on the add button here, and then I want to add that cockbird, and add the hen. So we've added the hen. We click on the date, the pair were paired. Click on today, select it, and that pair will now appear. I just need to save it. That pair will now appear. This recalculation will be done in the background, and we'll have a look at, so there's that breeding pair that we've just set up. It's the last one on the list. Here's a breeding pair that's been set up, and you can see here these are the two chicks from it, or two of the chicks from that pair. If I wanted to add a chick to this, so once I've rung a bird, it's literally just a matter of add offspring. It brings it up, you then add the various details in here, and it will automatically add that to there, link it to those two, and then it will be linked to all of the other birds that are linked to these. So nice and easy, and that's the easiest way to add offspring if you're breeding them yourselves. Well, that's a very quick run through of this database that I use to look after my bird records.
So I just thought I'd show you these couple of birds. This one here, I'm getting to get perch again. This is the youngster that I'm just taking out of the cage to put in the nappy flight. It's the oldest chick from the nest that didn't make it. And what I've got also in the other cage, the next cage that I'll show you, is a half brother of this bird. At the moment, this bird ain't going to make the grade for my shed, so I expect it's going to go in the sales cage. But I did have similar thoughts on the bird I'm about to show you, that's about to go into the breeding cage. That I say again is a half brother to this young blue. So it may be that this will develop as well once I get it into the nappy cage and then on into the flight. The other bird that I'll show you now, this bird, as I say, is a half brother to the one we've just looked at. About to put him in with the hen that I suppose was widowed by the death of this one's father, actually. And this bird, when I first looked at him a little while ago, when he first went into the main flight, didn't look anything particularly special. But he's been catching my eye in the flight, and I'm beginning to like the way he's developing. So he's quite a nice big bird. He'll do it a bit more over the top. And if he has one major fault, it's the fact that he's quite opalescent. So that's the bird that's going to go in with that dark green. See how he gets on. I have to keep an eye on him, of course. So there we are, 2 other birds. And here is the hen for that cobalt. Well, that's just about all we've got time for in this video. Before we go, I'll leave you with some shots of the young birds in the nappy flight. But as always, do stay safe and enjoy those birds.